What is going on? How about that? I had this great intro and then I hit the wrong button and and killed it. Just said, "All right, great introduction, everybody, and good night." Oh well, such is life. What can you do about it, right? So hopefully everybody will be jumping back in here, and we'll get back on it. And be honest with you, I had an updated intro and everything, and that is not the one that appeared on my screen. So I had to go with that, and that just happens, guys. That just happens. You know, what can I say? Life just happens, right? So welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm going to be sharing with you from some of the loot I have from the North Texas RPG Con 2024, and it was a really, really good con. This is about 2 weeks ago I was there. First time I had been there, and I'm going to take this off. I just did that for effect. But I was stoked to go. I hadn't been to an out-of-state con in quite some time, and so I was excited to just be a part and go and see what it was about old school gaming. And so what I'll do tonight is I have a list of things. Hopefully I'm going to hang out with you guys for about an hour, roughly, and that depends on all of you as to whether or not, whether I run out of things to say or not. I do have my little list, my little cheat sheet of things that to go through here. And so hopefully I'll be sharing with you a little bit about the loot I'm bringing back with me. Also, I have a surprise. You're going to be the first to hear about a new thing I got, a new thing I'm doing, that a way for you to be able to support the channel if you want to. I'm also going to be sharing some of my learn to plays that I've done recently, and I'm going to answer any DM questions you may have. Okay, so we'll go from there. So let's go and just start out with the loot bag. We'll start out with the con. Like I said, the con was excellent. Had a great con. First time there. I played in 3 games. I played in 3 games and ran 1 game. So I'll talk about that. But here's a little. Here's the bag, the loot bag, and this is the 2024 edition here. And also, you know what's funny? There's a little there's a little bag, and I found this to be funny only because when I ran Castles and Crusades, which I'll talk about here in a little while, is that part of your equipment is a big bag and a small bag. And so when I was like, oh, I'm doing this tonight. Oh, look, I got a big bag. I got a small bag. And this makes for a good dice bag or some other cool stuff like that. So you have that. And then you have the actual program, the 16th annual North Texas RPG convention. As you can see here, they've been 16 years and all the different graphics. Super well laid out. All the shout out to Gary Oliver, who put together put together this thing, did all the dynamics, the sign-ups, all the technical stuff of where your games and stuff. And I think that they just did a great job of putting it all together. They've been doing it for 16 years, so they've had some practice, which is great. But we are the beneficiaries of that, right? So, hey, welcome in. There's O'Neill. Good to see you, O'Neill. Thanks for hanging out for a little while tonight. Going to be sharing some loot from the North Texas RPG Con. Old school stuff. So if you have questions and whatnot about anything, feel free to ask. And, but yeah, just getting started. So that's the program. I have that. Showed off the bag. And then let me just show you a few of the games that I played in, and then I'll get to the loot, okay? So the first thing that I played in is I played in a game called let's see. Let's go down here. Let's go here first. I played in Weird Frontiers. And Weird Frontiers is a really, really cool game. It's kind of DCC based. There, as you can see, DC Dungeon Crawl Classic RPG. And this is the first time I've played in a kind of a theater of the mind. There were no miniatures. And so playing theater of the mind for me was different because I'm used to some of the tactical aspects and at least being able to see your character. But that didn't make the game any less enjoyable. That didn't make the game less enjoyable at all for me. I don't mind. I like theater of the mind. But once again, my brain goes to like I'm sitting there, and I'll show you. Basically, we had our dice, we had a deck of cards that we used that helped decide, if I can remember some of the rules, that basically you could boost your attacks, the number you get on your attack number, or you would get some kind of or you could bomb. I mean, you could basically you could hit a 7 and say, all right, that's it, you stop. And so you go from there. And then you have, let's go over here. These are some of the maps. These are just like the maps we had. They're here. There's that's where we wound up at Feather Rock. And I believe my character got possessed for a round or two, and I started attacking other players, and that was interesting. I tried to be nice as I could, but when you're possessed, you're just gonna do things, right? And then let me go ahead and go to this. Here's another map that we had that shows you a little bit of the town. I love that map. I think that's just a fantastic looking map. I don't know if they have it available on their website at all. But those are basically the tools we had. You had your dice, and I did not have my DCC dice with me. In fact, DCC is fairly new to me overall. I know what it is. I've played in a funnel game. This particular game, I want to say we were at first level. We might have been higher, but keeping up with the dice and the things like that, for me, it's something that I have to train my brain for. I have to play it enough times. I have to just get used to it and get some muscle memory of when am I using, when do I go from 20 to the 12 to the 8. I don't know. That's like I said, it's a lot for me to keep up. And then I think about things like, well, can I teach it? Well, I'd have to be really proficient at it, for me at least, before I felt comfortable teaching to somebody else. I don't know if any of you have experience with DCC. Feel free to leave some comments if you like, and let me know if you have experience with DCC. Like I said, I played in a funnel game, and I played this game, and that is my extent of my experience with it. But it was an enjoyable game. DM was great. The story was fun. And it was just a great experience. It was my first game of the con, and I had a tremendous time. So let me talk about the second game. Second game we were involved in, and that was Hyperborea. Make that a little bit bigger. Hyperborea was also this was probably a 5-hour game. I played one night in one of the meetings rooms up on one of the floors, and this was a really my goal for this con was to play things I'd never played before. So I'd never played an actual, leveled character, not a funnel, for DCC. So I got to do that. Played Hyperborea, which I had never played that. And it's also just a fun romp. I'll show you just a couple of quick pictures here from the game. This is me being trampled by a mastodon. And I say this, if you've not been trampled by a mastodon in an RPG, are you really gaming? Are you? I mean, because this was a lot of fun. And so we were trying to hunt down this mastodon here, and trying to, get it for, a sacrifice of some kind. And so that was fun. And then we had... This is us. We had to fight the Yetis. There was a whole lot of Yetis there. Holy mackerel. When they brought out the Yetis, I was like, my goodness, nobody's going to survive this. There's a ton of Yetis there. And I'm not going to spoil the adventure, but I will say this, that the adventure itself was a lot of fun. And the adventure was this is probably a group there's 8 players in this game. That may be the largest group I've ever played with. And I thought to myself, wow, this is going to go really slow. And you know what? It didn't. The GM did a fantastic job, kept things moving along. And the best thing about it, and I wish I could remember his name, because we foiled him so many times. We were rolling all kinds of dice, rolling high, and he'd be like, get, and he'd be like, we were just frustrating him, and all of us around the table were GMs or DMs, and we were like, and I just told him, I said, brother, I said, it's nice to be on this side of the table for once. It's nice to be inflicting the damage than having the damage inflicted upon me. So that was a lot of fun to experience that with them. And like I said, large group. The mechanics are pretty straightforward. Lots of different character choices, so I had to kind of get used to the character sheet. I didn't put the picture up here. One really cool thing, and I should have put the picture up here, but was that the character sheets were inside a menu. So if you can picture, if you go to the anywhere, and they have these clear plastic menus. And instead of a menu in there, you had your character sheet in there, and they had little erasers and markers you could use. I said, man, I'm going to get me some of those, because man, you give your player a menu and say, hey, here's your character sheet in here. Feel free to use this as your marker sheet or whatever for your hit points or take notes on anything like that. It just gives them a little more space to work with. I thought, well, that's cool. I'm going to use that in my game and see what transpires. All right, now for the game that I ran. I have never run Castles and Crusades. I'm enjoying reading about the game. I'm enjoying reading lore. I've been watching quite a number of the live streams that Troll Lord Games has, and they're a lot of fun to watch. I watched a live play the other day. It was really a lot of fun. And then also just been catching some of their videos. And I think the game is just a solid game. It's just a lot of fun to play, and I didn't play, but it's a lot of fun to run. And so the system, if you're not familiar with the system, it runs on what's called the Siege engine. And there's, if you're good at something, you're really good at something. And I think your base score is like a 12, like or a 10 or something like that. Whereas if you're good at something, you're good at two things, then your difficulty challenge is a 10 or a 12. And then if you're really bad, you're going to be bad at a lot of things. And then I think it's like an 18. So it just shows you the balance of saying if you're good at it, you're really good at it. If you're bad at it, you're going to be really bad at it. And I played this game with 2 people, and I'm a little thankful for that. I was a little concerned. I was like, okay, this is my first time. I've never played it. I've never run it. I have an idea of how this will go. And I used a great adventure called Wormwell. And the Wormwell was and I always wonder about these things too, that, when you advertise it, I'm wondering, it's like, it's almost like it's just like a spoiler title, like Wormwell. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you read into it, you go, oh, well, it's a worm in a well. And, that's what it was. And so the folks I had, I'll just show you the setup. I didn't use, like I said, it was only 2 people, and I'm thankful for it because I got to learn the system along with them. And I told them afterwards, I said, look, this is my first time running it. And these 2 guys were just heroes, buddy. They played along. And this is my setup here. And something you can see there, if you look at the bottom there, I printed out some cards. I'm going to do a video soon on doing on how to make your paper miniatures and the stands that I have there. And using that, I also like to draw my own stuff. So you can see there, I like that diamond there. I drew that just because I was like, you know what I need? There's some loot I want to give out. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw it myself. So I like drawing a lot of my own stuff. And I like to print out these paper figs, which is what we used. And so let's see, we'll go back to this, show you another setup. There's the map we used. And then there's the guys here who actually played in it. These guys were both dwarves. What they did not know when they chose their adventure, when they chose to play in this adventure and they chose their characters, what they did not know is that they would be entering into a dwarven keep that was set up, that was, had been just taken over by time. as well as they found out in there was some treachery going on there between a couple of factions of dwarves, and they played their characters to perfection. I cannot say enough about how well they played their characters. They played as brothers. Just picture dwarven brothers, and that is exactly what they were. And there were some cool things in there. They found some. I don't know if you saw, there was a card, a beard with like kind of a rune in it, and there was these really cool just beard runes where you got some bonus some bonuses to your hits and things like that because of the beard rune. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So doing this with them and learning the system, and I'm still learning it. I'm not perfect. I've only run one game. But if you have had any experience with that, I'd love your comments, love your input into any of these games. If you played, Weird West or Hyperborea or Castles and Crusades, it was a lot of fun for me to run. It was a lot of fun for me to just run the game for them and kind of work on the rules for myself. And I think it turned out okay. I'm going to run it again. So it'd be really cool to do that. All right. Last game I played in, and then I'm going to get to the loot that I got. The last game I played in, let's see, we'll go there. Last game I played in was a Shadow Dark game. And what made this different from the other Shadow Dark games was this was a game test. This is an adventure test. This is the DM for this was writing this and was putting the adventure, out there to be play tested. And so we all got around, and once again, this was a large table. We had seven maybe. I want to say 7 or 8. Once again, a large table. And it made me feel a little bit better in the sense that, okay, I don't think this went as slow as I think a lot of people would, depending your crowd. I mean, you had a lot of people around the table that were DMs already that kind of understood the pace and understood, to be patient, let people have their turns. If you have 8 random people that you're doing at a store or something like that, or learn to play like I do, well, that's a little bit different. But in this case, this was a play test of an adventure that they were doing. And I liked his, these here are, if you turn them upside down, these are upside down now. If you turn them right side up, they are actually like rooms that you can travel through. And they were really cool. And this was a very long hall that led down to 2 statues that had these gods on them, and if you turn the wheel one way, something happened. If you turn the wheel the other way, something else happened. So that turned out to be really, really good. But those are the games I played in. They were a lot of fun, and I enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed the Shadow Dark playtest. First time I'd ever done a playtest adventure. And so, I watch the DM or the GM as much as I'm playing in the game, because I'm watching how they're reacting. And something that did take a little bit of time, which I did not mind, is the GM who's written the adventure, who's playtesting the adventure, is giving you all this kind of back knowledge. Like, why did I do it this way? And, what was the purpose behind that? And he would ask some key questions during it, but he would also kind of explain it as we were going along. And I didn't know it was a play test. I said, why is he asking us so many questions? Are we not going to play this game? And I was like, getting not frustrated, but I was like, what is going on here? This is a different kind of game. And what I did not know was a play test. So then once I knew it was, I was like, okay, that's, fantastic. That's, I understand that. And I understood the questions he was asking. We all kind of hung around afterwards and was able to share, we were all got a little, be able to share a little bit about, what we thought about it, what took too long, what was this, and I'd buy the adventure. So that's for me. I hope it gets done, and I would run it for sure, because I've run a couple of Shadow Darks. And speaking of Shadow Dark, if you've not watched Monday nights, I'm doing Shadow Dark. I'm playing in a Shadow Dark game with Tim Shorts and Joe the Lawyer and Ken, and here's Brent. Brent was in. Brent, I hope you saw the. I put up some of the pictures from our game, I think. Brent, if I am not mistaken, played a cleric and played his cleric very well and played in that playtest adventure. So, Brent, thanks for hanging out and being a part tonight. And so, if you're not watching on Monday nights, I'm doing the Shadow Dark with Tim Shorts and Joe the Lawyer and Ken. A lot of fun. And Tim is a great DM. And the world, he does a really good job at world building. I'm just picking up on little things and going, oh, that's interesting. I think in one game we played, we talk about dark, because it's Shadow Dark. I mean, then you're dealing with these dark halfling gods he's talking about. I'm like, ooh, that's new. I don't think I've ever, done any type of dark halfling gods. That's interesting. So anyway, you can catch us on Monday nights if you want to, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, maybe. Or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Just be aware. If you're not subscribed, by the way, now's a good time to subscribe. That way if you'll subscribe and hit the, be sure to hit the like button if you're here. Hit the like button, or if you're watching it later, be sure to hit the like button. And then don't forget to hit the bell icon, because if you hit the bell icon, well, you're going to know when I go live. So whether it's things like this, or whether it is live plays I'm involved with, and I'm kind of simulcasting as we go, you'll be able to catch up on all the cool stuff for the hobby. All right, who's ready for some loot? Let's talk about some loot, shall we? What is something? And I did not, let me just tell you, I did not have a ton of money. And so I had to watch my pennies. Is anybody with me on that? Are you guys with me? When you go to a con sometimes you just go in broke. And by broke, you mean you maybe have, after your flight, hotel room, making sure you got enough money for food, you say, okay, I got $50 or $50 to $100 maybe to spend on some resources. So for me, I had to make sure my pennies lasted. So that's just life. That's just the way it goes, right? And so I'll show you some of the resources I got here. The first one is, and this is from Bat in the Attic Games. This is Rob Connolly. Let me show you here. Rob Connolly, there we go. The Isle of Pyad. And this is, first of all, I wanted to support Rob because I think he has good resources. The book I wanted was about how to build a sandbox. And it goes along with this because this kind of is the, the template, if you will, for the sandbox. So he's showing you how to do it. He uses it in that particular book. And you can buy this through DriveThru. All the links for all the stuff that I'm showing you will be down below. If they're available in DriveThru RPG or if they're available on some other website, I'll make sure I'll put the links down below so you can check those out later. But the artwork, and this is not a review, by the way. I'm just I've read through it briefly. And it kind of breaks down. I like the, let me go back here. Plenty of tables in there. Breakdowns of the various things on the island. You can see there, lots of good stuff there. And then you have, let's see, there's a map here. There we go. Yeah, so here's kind of the island here. Shows you hex 0403. And then you have, let's see if there's another map. Pretty sure that was the only map. I don't know. But the, let's see. O'Neill says, if I can get my mouse there. Yeah, O'Neill says, I picked up his Black Marsh PDF. It is full of good stuff. Yeah. He has a lot of good stuff. And so my hope is to do more sandboxy things. In fact, I have a video coming up talking about sandboxes and how to make them sexier. How to make sexier sandboxes. Do you want to make sexier sandboxes? I don't know if I'm going to use that word, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Make them. How to handle sandboxes where, you're not putting yourself in trouble. Where, how to keep yourself from the DM. How you as a DM keep yourself from they're going to visit a place. Well, how do you make sure? How do you, make sure something's prepared, and how do you deal with characters going over here if you don't have anything in particular. And that's one reason why I'm reading this, is because I'm going to be doing some sandbox stuff. Why is this happening? What is this? Let me get rid of this. What do we have here? These video effects. There we go. Now we don't have to mess with it. There we go. Now you can see all my stuff behind me. When I have that thing on, that's just what happens. Like, it gets a little blurry sometimes. So now we can see the full thing, and we're good to go. But anyway, that is resource number 1 that I got, and it's, like I said, pretty good. And I'm going to get the sandbox one where he talks about that, and we'll go from there. Now, something else that I got was the Valley Out of Time, and this is by Skeeter Green Productions. And I initially got, like, I think number 5 or something like that. I think this is number 4, part 4 of the Valley Out of Time. I just wanted something cool with dinosaurs, and I just want to support creators. I want to support, if you're, you go to a con and you're like, look, these guys have schlepped all this, stuff over to the con, and they want to, sell their stuff. I like to find, booths where I haven't bought their stuff before. So I want to have some new stuff. And the reason I got this is because, well, first of all, it has tribes and factions, which means I could plop this down into anywhere. I mean, I could plop that down into, on the island if I want. So if I want to take this, and plop that down in here into the island, which then kind of becomes the Isle of Dread, maybe, right? So I'm mixing and matching as I go here. But yeah, I just wanted this just to have something cool, something that I could use and drop into somewhere else. So yeah, so Skeeter Green Productions has a lot of cool stuff in there, has a lot of factions in there that you can use. The artwork, super nice. It gives you a few species. Okay, these guys did a great job on the artwork, and just lots of really cool stuff in there. I think you can just pick this up and throw it into just about anything. So yeah, so there, Valley Out of Time, Tribes and Factions by Skeeter Green Productions. So that's that. All right. Then I got James Raggy was there from I'm gonna get it wrong. Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Look at that. Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and I've seen a bunch of his videos. Not say a bunch, he does it when he can. So I've seen his videos before. Thanks, Brent. I got more. James Raggy was there, and like I said, he's an interesting guy, as he should be. I mean, he's been running his own company for several years, and he lives in Finland, and he has got. I have some of his resources. I think the only one of his that I have as far as an adventure goes is I have Frostbitten and Mutilated, which is really good. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here. I mean, if I want to do Nordic or something Viking wise or something like that, definitely going to do this, and I am going to get it to the table eventually. But something that I got from him that I did not have, that I thought was there, was this here. And you see, no peeking. This is the random esoteric creature generator. And I rolled up a character, and I rolled up a monster. And this has a ton of D100. So you can make crazy looking stuff like this, okay? There's also some crazy, let me see here. Yeah, whatever this is, right? That's a bunch of arms on there, snake body, and crazy stuff. Some of these pictures I cannot show you, or they will cancel me somewhere. The YouTube will. They'll say no on your video. But some really great sharp looking artwork in there. And I rolled up a gargantuan beaver. And I'm looking for it. I don't know what I have done with it. It is on a little sheet of paper somewhere. I hope I didn't throw it away. But it is a gargantuan beaver that who gets this. I mean, can you imagine? I just thought about this. I mean, rolled up a gargantuan beaver. It's the only one. It's almost like kaiju size. I mean, can you imagine a gargantuan beaver just slapping that tail on houses as you're going along? Wow. Try to stop that. And I don't remember all the powers that I had. Hopefully I'll do this on a live or something like that, or make a video where I'm just making up, or maybe in the community as well. I'll be doing some there in the community. Maybe I'll just post my creations there, and you can see what I'm making. But yeah, those are the major books. Like I said, there was a ton of books that I saw that, of course, I want because, you know, I collect the stuff, but did not have the pennies for that. But it's okay. One day I will. I will use my pennies wisely. All right, last little resource I had. Oh, James Raggy, by the way, also gave me these little tiny dice to go along with my stuff. So who doesn't like a little tiny bag of dice to go along with their stuff? And then from my Weird West game, my Weird Frontiers game, excuse me, I got this little Weird Frontiers die. I don't know if you can, it's probably not going to focus very well. I'll pull it back. That's fine. It's pretty small, but Weird Frontiers on the die, so get to keep that. And then, because I just had to have them, I got this Dungeon Magazine number 17, and I always enjoy. I mean, to me, I'm just a physical, material kind of guy. I don't mind PDF. I like PDFs. I mean, I have a Dropbox with hundreds of PDFs, hundreds. But when it comes to something like a magazine, I still have a thing for physical and material things. And so I had to grab this just because I only have a couple of Dungeon magazines, I think. And I wanted another one. And this is probably the oldest one I have, is number 17. So I'm always going to be on the hunt for more. And I'm going to hopefully would love to run these adventures because I think they're cool. I also like the, I always like the letters. Of course, the ads are fantastic. The ads that are in there. And it's just nostalgia. But I also like the letters because it gives me an idea of the time in which it was written, right? Kind of know what, the era of the edition or something like that. But I also like to read the letters. So I got me a dungeon, and then I got me 4 dragon magazines. I have a few of those. But I also, like I said, I like to go in and I like to read letters to the editor. Because I think it just shows you kind of the mentality. It gives you that flashback in time. It's like, you know what? Players really haven't changed. I mean, players are going to be players, and DMs are going to be DMs. And I always love reading the letters to the editor because it gives you that perspective of where they're coming from at a certain time in a certain place. So I got this one here. I got the this dragon magazine here. Also love the great cover art. I mean, you can't beat the cover art. And I think I got this off of Mike's table. Mike had a bunch of these. So I'm all about the dollars, man. If I can get a dragon magazine for $1, heck yeah, I'm in. Give me that dragon magazine for $1, right? So it's just something I can just sit and read and look at and get absorbed into. Once again, the ads are fun. The letters are great. The upcoming adventures. I mean, fun stuff. And then you have, this is the TSR Holiday Shopping Guide insert. Didn't even realize this had an insert in there, but it does. I think it does. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at that. So this is what's coming out Christmas 1992, everybody. Start shopping right now. Get yourself some good TSR stuff from 1992. But yeah, this is for $1. Can't beat it. So that is all my loot. That is all my stuff that I got. And I didn't, being flying, I didn't want to carry a bunch of stuff either. I just didn't want to make my bag any heavier. I didn't want to have any problems at the airport. I didn't want to tell me I was, I have one more thing. I didn't want them telling me that I had too much weight. I just didn't want to hassle. So last thing, and this is interesting here. This is called Jewel of the Seas, and this is called Echoes. Echoes from, what's it called? And I'm trying to remember where I even got it from, which table I got it from. It was the table next to Pace Setters, and I can't remember who they were, but they had some really, really good stuff. And this particular thing, they come in these envelopes, and what does it say? Echoes from something. But this is a setting. This is called Jewel of the Seas. And this is by a guy, I want to say he is from Hungary. That is correct. Baklin, Jewel of the Seas City Supplement. And EMDT, the first Hungarian D20 Society. He's a professor, I want to say, at a college. And you can get in there, and I forgot about this, but you get the PDF. They put a little slip in there where you can get the PDF and get the setting in there. But you can see it gives you first of all, here's a little map of the Undercity level 1, and then it gives you Undercity. Where's Undercity level 2? It's here somewhere. Undercity level 2 is right here. And then Undercity level 3. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's a lot going on there. But I just like little things like this. This gives you the actual city right there that you can use there. And I think there's I want to say there's a black and white version in here somewhere. And let's see. This here, it's not in the book, it's here. But here are I love this, that they give you this little map in here. It's not little, it's actually quite good. So they give you this map in here that gives you the actual town here of Baklin, Jewel of the Seas. And that is the level 3, Undercity level 3. And then on the back, they give you Undercity level 1, level 2. I just love stuff like this. I love the what do I want to say? I love the compactness. That's what I want to say. I love the fact that it's compact. I can throw that in my bag, take it with me, find some cool stuff in there. I'm trying to see if I have another one like that. The stuff I like this is, let's see. Here we go. Through the Valley of the Manticore. I love little ones like this. Now, this is an adventure, but they give you the map overviews, and the compactness of it is just really, and this has really good artwork. There's ones here for settings as well. If I can find another one. Let's see what I have here. Here we go. In the shadow of Tower Silveraxe. This here comes with a map as well. This is a little glossy map, little hex crawl kind of a map. Gives you some areas on the map. But stuff like that I like, and that's why I was drawn to this particular. I think it cost $14. I want to say, but $14, and you're getting these really cool maps in here, and you're getting all the stuff. Worth it. 100% worth it. And by the way, this is, like I said, this is from, it doesn't tell me, I wish I could find who I actually bought it from. Gabber Lux. I want to say that, but that's not correct. That sounds like somewhere in Hungary. But anyway, if I can find the website and all that stuff, I will put it on there, as long as with all the other stuff that I'm showing you guys. So just know that I'm going to put all the links down in the show notes there. But yeah, these little compact type deals, I'm just down with it. So we'll put this back. Let's see. What's everybody doing in the chat there? Brent says, picked up Barrow Maze, Goodman Games Expedition to Barrier Peaks, and Islands of Peril. All are great products. Yeah, those Goodman game books, I don't think I would have fit my. If I bought one of those, I'd have trouble getting my clothes and getting everything packed back up. That's what I can be concerned about when you're flying, right? So you got to think about all that stuff. But yeah, they have all those are fantastic books. Barrow Maze, I'm interested in. I would like to get a hold of that at some point, but there's only so much games, only so much time. I'm trying to play what I have. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get in that place. You're like, man, I got to play this stuff. If I don't play it, I'm just gonna throw it on a shelf, and I want to play with it. I want to get it to a table and do that cool stuff. All right, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk about one learn to play, and then if you guys have any questions for me, happy to answer any questions you have, any DM questions, anything like that. Happy to do so. But I do want to tell you something that I have, something I've been working on, and I'm going to show you what this is. I've been working on a zine, and it is nothing fabulous to look at, but I was wondering what can I give to those of you that enjoy the channel, that enjoy watching? Is there something you say, oh, Paul, I would like this, or I'm 200. By the way, I'm 200. I want to say I'm 290 hours away from monetization. Okay, so that's great. So watch more videos, I guess. Share the videos and see if we can't get that number down a little bit. It's going to take a little time. I understand. But in the meantime, if you're wanting to support the channel in some way, you say, Paul, I would like to do that. Well, let me show you what I have here. Let's see here. And let's see. There we go. Let's get rid of that. All right. So let me show you this PDF here called Crit Happens. And I want your feedback, guys. So this is your chance. I'm not an artist. I have some ideas of design a little bit. This is the first one, so it's okay. Judge me harshly. Don't. It's fine. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. But I'm trying to do something, right? So I'm just trying to figure it out. So this is called Crit Happens. And this is Tables, Tools, and Tips for DMs, issue number 1. It's going to be pretty system agnostic. It's going to have articles in there. It's going to have random tables. I have some other stuff in the works. I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. Just some stuff I'm working on, and so yeah, I'm trying to just put some things together. So let me just show you what's in here. Let me kind of scroll through it. Go to the letter here. Give you a little letter first of all, and then I jump into an article that I wrote called "What Does Epic Gaming Look Like?" And it's just an article on what I think Epic Gaming is. It's to help GMs say, how do I run Epic Games? What does an Epic game look like to me? And then you can kind of use it for yourself. But so for me, Epic is evolving characters, passionate storytelling, inspiring creativity, and creating celebratory moments. And then I give you your own Epic. Right, I give you a little worksheet in there to kind of work out. It says your version of Epic and my version to Epic do not have to be the same. What does Epic look like to you? And then I give you a little scratch sheet to kind of work through. And then just some stuff I was thinking about with Dungeons and Dragons, and say, okay, I've heard people both joke about and critique Dungeons and Dragons Adventures because so many games have neither dungeons or dragons in them. And then I put just a way to include some more dragons, or at least some adventures. So I give you 20 of those that you can roll on a die if you want to do it that way. 15 ways to foreshadow a dragon. Like if maybe you're not ready to put the dragon in yet, but there are ways to put dragons in without putting them in. So if you want to do that. Then I have, I put a little menu in there called the Dragon's Breath Tavern. Menu, it's got drinks like the Griffin's Gaze, the Wyvern's Warmth, Manticore's Margarita, the Pixie Potion. Tell me what you would order off this, by the way. What sounds good to you? Hill Giant's Hunger Feast, the Goblin Grub, Beholder Burger, the Etton's Entangled Eggs, Fairy Fire Fries, Dragon Wing Drummers, Unicorn Custard. Let's see what else we have. 15 spine-tingling taglines for big bads, whose name probably begins with V. And so these are just lines. They're just things that you can have your big bad say. I did a video on that recently about how to make your big bads badder. And, with Vecna coming out and things like that, I said, well, let's do some big bad lines. And then I have another article there called The 9 Habits of Proactive Dungeon Masters, which you maybe saw the video, maybe you didn't. If you didn't see the video, then I'll put a link down below, or I'll put it somewhere up top. You can check that out. And I give you those. And then I have a little funny artwork in there, like this guy. Well, actually, that's what my character would do. Then you have, let's see here. Yeah, that's it. That's the last article, and then I just go through that stuff. And then the last page I put on there called Backpage Piffle, and piffle is just a word that means nonsense. So 12 ways to describe your villain's hair. Her hair writhed like a nest of vipers, each strand tipped with a venomous barb. So, you can just roll this. It's like just make random hair, I guess, for your villain. It's a way to make a new monster out of it, which would be kind of fun, right? Just to kind of make a give that monster something that they didn't have before, and you just kind of roll it. Oh, by the way, they have vipers as hair. So, but anywho, let's see. Chat here. Haven't played fantasy in a while. We were playing Twilight 2000 right now. We are co-op playing like a war game. Very nice, O'Neill. I remember playing the original first edition Twilight 2000, and it was a lot of fun. Played that with my friends, and it was a lot of fun. I would love to play it again. I would love to. Always look on eBay looking for the first edition. Are you playing first edition, O'Neill, or are you playing second edition? Which edition are you playing? I would like to know. And how it plays for you. So leave me a comment as to how you are doing that. But if you are interested in supporting the channel and you say, Paul, I like your little zine there. I think that's kind of cool. Well, I'm going to drop something in chat here. And it is called Crit Happens. And I have a little site that you can go to get it. It's pay what you want, by the way. Okay? Pay what you want. Don't worry. I mean, we're not making a gajillion dollars here. We're just saying, look, if anybody's interested in that, then I want to be able to put it in there so that you can find a way to say, Paul, how can I support the channel? Well, you can do that. And I even printed off. Now, it's not a physical copy, but for my own sake, I went ahead and made a little tool for myself so I can give to DMs at my local store if I want to do that and say, hey, here's a little zine I made. And then it's got all the stuff in there. It's got all the little, you can see the things a little clearer, the little background stuff I tried to do. Once again, I'm getting better at it. Oh, yeah, you're playing the Free League version, O'Neill, but what, is that not an they didn't know that IDW, who put out the first edition, O'Neill? Or is this first? I guess this is first edition, Free League's first edition. That's their first edition, or is it a third edition or second edition? Tell me if it's there. I know it's the Free League version, but is it still an edition? Are they calling it second edition? I can't remember. But yeah. All right. Got about 8 minutes left, and I'm going to answer any questions. Like I said, I've been on here. I don't want to stay on here longer. I don't want to outstay my welcome, as they say. So I don't want to drone on. Hopefully I've shared with you guys a fair amount of stuff tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to click the thumbs up button, by the way. Something I did in my last Learn to Play is the I did. If I find it here, there it is. I use from time to time. I use Keep on the Borderlands, and Keep on the Borderlands is a great sandboxy, adventure. And I said, well, how am I going to make? Because at the beginning of the adventure, and this is nothing wrong with the adventure, but and it's to be assumed, I guess, to the degree, say, hey, you're going out and you're gonna go into these caves, the caves of chaos, and you're gonna go slay orcs and whatnot. But I said, well, how can I make these orcs badder, right? How can I, before I get them there, before I get them to the keep, on my little adventure sheet, I just drew a little road, right? The road there. What do they see? And so what I did is they came upon, let's see. Oh, here we go. It's considered 4th edition. Okay. Gotcha. So for me, if I want to get players invested in the world and on the mission so they understand the danger that's involved, I'm going to make something happen that they're going to encounter that's going to be a revelation as to really what they're getting involved in. So I had just like a little, like they were going and it was like a little hamlet, I want to say, something like that. Maybe, it was like a little, can't even call it a town. Can't even call it a village. It was maybe 5. I don't know. How big is a village? 5, I think 5 like buildings that were there. And they came upon, the player characters came upon these orcs, the Bloodhammer tribe. Came upon them, and they saw smoke. So from way back down the road, I said, you see black smoke about a mile up the road. And they went to investigate, and they found orcs burning the thing down. They're burning the little village down. And people are screaming. As they get closer, you hear people screaming. And there was all these people in this one house, and there was these orcs trying to get in there. They're trying to, get a hold of them, trying to maybe kidnap them. And so you had 3 adventurers versus, I think, 4 orcs. And so what I did was I just set the tone that, listen, where you're going is dangerous. And not only is it dangerous, but now you have an issue. Once again, this is kind of like a unintended consequence, if you want to say it that way. But my players were figuring it out to where in the city, by the way, for this takes place, I put Greyhawk, right, as a setting. And so they were traveling from the city of Greyhawk along the road to the keep on the Borderlands, where City of Greyhawk was trying to expand. And I have them kind of in this expansion mode where they're going to clear out the land, so to speak. And what they're finding out is that the orcs are moving in, and they're no longer content where they are. So you kind of have these kind of moving parts where they're kind of moving together, where the orcs are moving in. The City of Greyhawk is trying to expand outward. They're trying to expand inward. And so we have a good set of conflict. And, these adventurers were they're awesome. They took the heads of all those orcs, put them on poles outside the little village so that if anybody came by again, they'd say, nope, they don't want to come in here. And the cleric had a natural 20 one time, cut off the head of one of the orcs, and it was a lot of fun. And in doing that, we've set this up where they're going to get to. Oh, the second thing they found on the road, by the way, not only did they see, because in the caves of chaos, you have orcs, you have kobolds, you have goblins. We'll say you have hobgoblins too. So you have all these things. So they're going to encounter these kind of low-level monsters. And further up the road, I say you see a cart, and the cart is destroyed. And in the middle of the cart is a giant footprint. And it was because in the caves, they have ogres are kind of roaming the land over there. So the goblins and the ogres are kind of have a thing going on. So I have set them up in 2 things. One, I've set them up for the danger that is ahead. And I've also invested. They go, oh, what is this now? We have orcs and they haven't discovered. They didn't discover whether or not the orcs were involved in this, but they know an ogre was, so they know the danger that is up ahead. But anyway, that's all I have to share tonight. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anything I can you want to ask a question, or you want to make a comment? Any of the stuff, my zine, if you're interested in that, like I said, link is there. If you want to do that, it's pay what you want. So if you want to support the channel, you're welcome to do that. But that is it for me, guys, tonight. O'Neill and Brent, appreciate you guys hanging out, being a part tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed just hanging out on a Thursday night, as I have. To me, this is just a time for me to get online, just like you'd get on the phone and call your friends and say, hey, you want to sit and talk about the hobby? You want to talk about a game coming up? What do you want to talk about? And so for me, this is just an opportunity to come in, hang out with any of the folks that are nice enough to be subscribed to this channel, and talk about the hobby, and talk about games, and talk about the things you guys want to talk about if you have questions. But that is it for tonight, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Thank you for being a part. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It tells me you like the video and you want more of them. And if you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button. You'll get videos like this in your inbox all the time. So that's it for tonight, everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everybody, and have a great weekend. And don't forget, it's free RPG weekend this week. Go find a friendly neighborhood game store and see who's doing that. You can go to freerpg.com, freerpgday.com, I think it is, or just Google Free RPG Day 2024, and you can type in your zip code, and you can find a store near you. I found a store that is participating. It's about 40 minutes away. But don't forget, Free RPG Day is tomorrow, so go find a good store near you and go get from some fun free stuff. And when I get that stuff, I'll get back online and I'll share with you what I got. So, but that is it. Thank you guys, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.